the trip to Oklahoma City because of personal issues with his family. No minutes restriction today. He made an impact most specifically in that first quarter, first half, 10 first quarter points.
Well, to my point right off the top about the ball not moving in the third and fourth quarters, he didn't score in the second half. He had 10 in the first quarter, 2 in the second, 12 at halftime, and then doesn't score in the second half because the ball never found him. Guys were getting in transition and just kind of doing their own thing. But when the ball is moving, and that's been a staple under Ty Lue of the Clippers, the ball movement, the player movement, getting good, not good shots, great shots. And Morris has been the recipient of a lot of that over the last few years. But in the second half, it just got stagnant. Guys were standing, guys were ISOing, doing their own thing. So the ball didn't find Morris. But the best sign is that he came back today, played a great first half. I'm sure he'll come back tomorrow night ready to go.
We talked about turnovers in the pregame show because it's been an issue. Clippers amongst, the bottom of the barrel in the league. I know Ty Lue said he'll sit around 12, and he's okay with that. 15 today. Will he be okay with these?
I think he'll be okay because it's coming back the other way. If it was
it's trending down.
Yeah, trending down is better. I mean, 15's not the end of the world, but when you're a team that has been struggling with turnovers, you want to see that go way down. So at least it's going downward, and you could tell they were paying attention to that today. But it wasn't really the turnovers today. It was the tough shots they took and tough shots that didn't go in. So hopefully they'll continue to improve in this turnover category.
Pre-game as well, we were talking about C.J. McCollum, and it is interesting to see where his game has gone. We will take a look at his day's work and effort. Ty Lue is going to talk to the media here shortly. Tough loss for your Clippers here on the matinee as we head to break and remind you that they're back at it again tomorrow. So bit of time to figure this one out. The good news is C.J. is headed out of town. We'll be back. Clippers Live is presented by Carmen. A little better. 28 minutes worth of work, 14 points, 5 of 19 shooting, though. Do you think he's completely back?
Maybe not. I thought the Pelicans did a good job on him, though. Made everything difficult. He wasn't coming off his stuff clean except for that one.
Right.
And he knocked that one down. But, when Kawhi's not in there with him, Jeannie, it becomes harder for Paul George because defenses can collapse. They can double team. They can try and get the ball out of his hands. But he was part of what I was talking about in the second half. He ISO'd a few times early in that third quarter and took tough shots. Again, if you're not having a great night and making shots, that's the last thing you want to do. You want to get that ball moving side to side so maybe you get some cleaner looks and knock some down. But obviously we're not concerned about Paul George at all. Just a tough afternoon for him.
Yeah, I just checked this out. He had 3 assists on the day. Very Paul George-esque. Maybe trying to do too much of the heavy lifting himself. C.J. McCollum started to find a spark. It might have been about midway through the second quarter, and you got the feeling when they came back from halftime that he was going to make his mark, and he has fit in so nicely with that club.
He has such a great feel for scoring. And he's got all the tools to do it. He's got all the off-balance, off-rhythm, one-legged runners from 15. Obviously, he's a great shooter from the perimeter, but just his feel for seeing what the defense is doing, getting to spots, knocking down shots. You feel like he could score every time down if he wanted to. But I said in the pregame, part of the reason this Pelicans thing is working is he's kind of taking a back seat to Brandon Ingram and Zion and become that third guy instead. But what's nice for Willie Green is if he needs C.J. McCollum to go off and get 40, he can do that too.
Well, I think that's probably exactly what happened because the Pelicans were held to their season lowest first quarter in scoring. And Willie probably turned to C.J. and said, all right, man, turn on the spigot.
And Zion,
Here we go. All right, we're going to step aside for just a moment, waiting for Ty Lue to make his way to the podium here in downtown Los Angeles as your Clippers suffer a tough loss. We're also going to look ahead. We got a couple coming your way with Houston.
Today's game.
Pace, I think speed of the game. And, just not, in the half court, not moving with pace and with speed, kind of walking through everything offensively. And so when we do that, it's going to be tough to score. And then I think, on misses, we got to be able to run and attack early in transition, which we're not getting out. All 5 guys are not running it all the time. And then when we do get in the half court, we're just moving too slow.
Ty, I feel like we've repeated a lot of the same talking points the last couple of days. I guess, what do you think, how does this change for you guys?
One, make some shots. That's one way. Two, play with more pace, more physicality. And three, play harder. Play harder. I mean, you're in a hole right now. We're in a hole right now. And so we have to do these things every single night, which we talk about. And so either we got to get better at it or we got to do something different. And so I'm not to that point yet, but we just got to do some things better. And we're not very good. They're not a very good basketball team right now. And we got to change that.
What do you make of Paul's struggles so far this season? Outside of the Kings game, I think he's shooting about 28% on the season.
I don't know. We have confidence in, what he brings on both sides of the basketball. And as long as he's taking his shots. And I thought tonight he got his shot. He just didn't make. And so that's part of basketball. And so, but the other things like just taking care of the basketball, rebounding the basketball, defending. And that's 1 through 15. We can do those things every single night. And so that's what we're focused on. I thought we got some open shots tonight that we didn't make. But just being able to, enjoy the game, have fun with the game, so, PG, he's going to be fine. Like, we know he can score the basketball, so that's not a concern.
Ty, the beginning of the third quarter and really even sooner in the fourth quarter, you had to call timeouts, get your team back together. What were you seeing that caused those timeouts, and what do you basically are trying to get through to the group in terms of what you need to see?
They were on a run in the third quarter, so that's why I called timeout. In the fourth quarter, we wasn't running the play right, and so just to get their attention, and then we come out of timeout and we didn't run it right again. So we got to be more focused and more locked into what we're doing, and so that's the frustrating part.
After you had a practice yesterday, and I'm sure you've gone over that, the players have gone over that, is this one of those situations where you got a game tomorrow, you kind of leave it up to the players to figure it out right now?
No, we all got to figure it out. It's not just on the players, myself included, And like I said, if we're not going to be able to do things that we're supposed to do, then we got to do something different. And so that, lies on me. And, we kind of go from there. But we all got to be better, look in the mirror and not out the window, and so that's what we got to do. We got to be better all around collectively, not just the players, the coaches, everybody involved. So, I'm not the one to point the finger, but we just got to, do things better, do things harder. And so there's really no coaching. There's really no coaching for playing harder. Just got to do things a little harder, a little bit more pace, put more into the game.
So he gave us that. So in the locker room, I'm sure they got much more of a talking to, and they hear get better at it, or we're going to do something different. How do you translate that?
Well, you don't want to just keep banging your head against the wall if you're trying to do a certain thing with the personnel you think you have in the right spots and it's not working. Then you either change personnel or you change the way of doing things. I think it's a little early for that. We're only 6 games in. It's an 82-game schedule, but you can tell he's starting to get a little frustrated, especially with when a coach starts talking about playing hard in the post-game press conference. I expect that there was a spirited conversation in that locker room, and the guys will come out more ready tomorrow and playing harder.
Yeah, we've been hearing that for a couple games now about needing more energy. We heard that in OKC, and that maybe there was more of a built-in excuse with the loss of Kawhi, and oh my goodness, now we don't have Marcus Morris Sr., right, and the PG is sick. But wake-up call on a matinee game. Absolutely. Tomorrow night, KTLA will have the privilege of bringing you Clippers basketball. So we're going to wait a little bit before you see us again. We are back at it Wednesday. Clippers will be in Houston to take on the Rockets.